Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to do a big hike in Lassen National Park around Butte Lake and Snag Lake, and then returning via Cinder Cone. Now this is a very long hike. I think it's about 13 miles, so it's going to take all day, and there should be some interesting sights, so come on along and let's check it out. Alright, so as you get in the first mile of the trail, you get a nice view of Butte Lake. In the distance you can see, I think that's another part of the lake, that it's not a separate lake as far as I know. And then on the right there you see the lava outcropping. And then you can see that the sky is kind of gray, and it's a clearing storm actually. It was raining yesterday. It's mid-September. Should be nice weather, but you certainly can have a storm. So I think it's going to clear, and I hope it does. The trail itself is this really soft, kind of like sandy, like cinder. Downhills are fine, but the uphills require a little bit of effort. Here you can see that the trail climbs up quite high. I get a nice view of the lake and over to that area that kind of looked like a separate lake, but it's obviously not. It's just an outcropping of lava. And then on the right there you see that dark area, that's all lava. Okay, after the trail crests out, there's a rather steep and loose downhill, and I think this is going to get us back down to lake level. And I think on the, I guess it's the west shore, I think we actually are walking along the lake. It looks like we got our first obstacle here, so we have to get across this. And it looks like there's a pretty good log bridge here. Yeah, this is not too bad, but it's pretty shallow, so you gotta watch your feet, don't slip in. All right, there it is again. It wasn't too bad. And here's the, I guess this is actually the outlet because the water's flowing to the right. And here's a sign that gives us some more info. We've only gone 0.9 mile. That's a lot of work. If you need a break, there's a nice picnic table here at the outlet of the lake. And that sky is not improving a whole lot. Pretty nice view walking along the east side of the lake. I think I might have referred to it earlier as the west side of the lake, but it's not. It's the east side. There we go. And that up there is the hill we just came over. And you can see why they went over the hill, because it's pretty rough. It would be hard to keep the trail low there through all that rocks and lava and such. We're still on the east side of the lake, and we're almost getting to the south end here pretty soon. Interesting vegetation here. Here's a completely burnt out stump that's actually still standing under a trip. All right, so at this point we have left Butte Lake and we're walking through the woods, and I suspect you may be able to see Butte Lake behind me. And right here is a trail junction where we are going to stay right. Jakey Lake, 7 miles. We're not going to go all the way to Jakey Lake if everything works out. I think the next one we see is going to be called Swamp Lake, and at that point we're going to head back north. And I'm going to show you in front of me, this is not a well-traveled trail, and it's a little bit difficult to discern, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful here to not lose the trail. And the reason is that this is a long day for me, and I don't really have any leeway for getting lost. Okay, look at that track right there. I'll put my hand down here. And it looks too big to be a cat track, and it looks a little small for a bear track. So what I'm guessing is that it's a cub. So I'm going to have to be a little bit careful because I don't want to surprise a mama with cubs. And I'm all alone out here. And it's late season, and it's a little creepy. Okay, as you can see, the sun is trying to peek through. That's good news. The trail through here is really dicey. It's really difficult to discern sometimes, and that's a great concern of mine, because I just can't afford to get lost. But what I do have is I have this GPS watch. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get in the light there. But there's the red arrow on the left, that's north. The blue arrow is following a track, and that's the track that I'm on. So what that means is if I get off the track, I can look where my blue arrow is and where the red line is. I can figure out which way to go to get back to that. When you're hiking on a trail that kind of disappears. It's always good to always 100% of the time know that you're on the trail, because if you walk off the trail and then you go for a while, 50, 100, 200 meters, then getting back to it can be impossible. And that's how people get lost a lot of the time, is they lose the trail and then they can't get back to it. To reiterate, the important thing to do is to just always make sure you're on the trail. And the minute you think you may be not on the trail, it's just to stop and reestablish where the trail is. But this is just so remote in here. You can see this is a burned out forest, which good thing is it gives you a little bit better view of the sky, but it's not the prettiest thing. So right here in front of me, you can see the trail's not that visible, but then if you look ahead in the grass, it's pretty clear where it goes. Hallelujah, the sun is coming through. I'm happy about that. I just want to mention, now that I've talked about how I'm a little concerned about things, and it's late season and it's really remote and there's nobody out here. What about safety? There's no cell phone coverage, of course. What I do have is a Garmin InReach, which is a satellite SOS device. So if I get lost or injured or can't continue for whatever reason, I'll fall back on that device and hopefully that'll save my sorry ass. The other thing is extra food and clothing. I've got a down jacket that's really warm. I've got a stocking hat. I've got gloves, and I've got a rain poncho. If there was a situation where I had to spend a night out here, I could do it, and I have enough food and water. So those are the safety items. But certainly there are things that can happen that go beyond the safety items. So the other thing is you need to do is just to be careful not to trip and fall and break something. All right, we're 5 miles in, and this is a long stretch between Butte Lake, and the next obstacle is Snag Lake, which I suspect may not be very deep. But anyway, it's a downhill. If you look behind me, you can see we're descending. And I think Snag Lake is probably in a little bit of a hole. This is what it looks like. Just descending now. It's easy going, which is nice. So I've been able to cover some ground. I can see the lake actually on my topo if I look at it. I don't know if you can see the topo or not, but in the upper part of the watch there, you can see so much reflection. It's weird. I have to find a dark tree to get it behind or something. Anyway, that's the lake. So we're coming up on it. All right, to my right there is the lake. We're going to cruise around it. Ahead of me, you can see these burned out aspen trees. The new ones are going to come in strong here. They're doing pretty well. I guess they're a couple of years old. The pine trees are kind of struggling around here. There's a lot of dead ones, even without the fire. I climb it, bark beetles, and things of that nature. There's the lake again over to the right. The trail came down to the lake and then did a hard left. The purpose of which I think is to get around this part of the lake that you can see. Here's a great view of the lake and the aspens trying to come through on the old dead stumps. If you look through the trees there, you can see some geese swimming along. There's another group of them right to the right of that dead aspen. Coming to the left, we'll move over this way and see them again. There they are. They haven't taken off yet. It just looks like they're swimming away from the shore as they see me. A whole bunch more of them there. Right behind that leaning tree. There's another view of them. A whole bunch of them. As I said, this is called Snag Lake, which to me implies it's not very deep. And if you look out there, you can see that there's an island or just a sandbar out there that just indicates that the bottom isn't very deep. All right, so that was pretty bad. And my camera battery quit, so I don't know how much of it I got, but maybe I got some of it. But I'm going to show you my legs. I'm wet up to here, and these shoes are just totally not waterproof, and they're soaked. Surprisingly, a guy just passed me who's doing the same hike, I think. And I'm kind of surprised to see anybody, but he looked pretty able-bodied. So anyway, we got to get past the end of this lake. Dead trees. All right, here's a really nice view of the end of the lake as we finish this section off. A lot of burned down trees, but it's a very pretty quiet area. Okay, so we've arrived at the junction. This is kind of the halfway point where this trail goes over to Juniper Lake and Junie Lake. And this one goes back to, it says Butte Lake 4.3, but that's going that way. We want to go around to the other side. Cinder Cone is kind of getting near where we want to go. That's another 5, and I think it's another 2 or 3 after that. You can see the trail isn't very well traveled. I forgot to mention that my total mileage at this point is 7.4, which kind of jives with what I was thinking. I just looked at the numbers on the map and I came out with 7.2, so the map seems to be pretty close. And I do believe that's probably the halfway point. So we have probably another 7 plus to go, and we'll be home free. And if I decide to do Cinder Cone, which I'd love to, that's going to add a mile or 2 and some difficulty, but it'd be really fun to hike up on that and look in it. If I have the energy to do it, we're going to do it. Oh no, here's another bog to cross. There's a lot of these. I guess the good news is my feet are already wet, so it doesn't really matter. Oh man, this bog situation's getting really old. You can't even see where the trail goes. I have no idea where the trail goes here. Well, we're not in Yosemite anymore, Toto. Oh man, I believe it curves to the right here somewhere. I have no idea where. I've got to get across that stream there. Okay, well, I know I'm in the right place because there's a bridge over there. It's completely lost. Looking at my watch, trying to figure out where things were, but the bridge doesn't go over the river though. What the heck? The river's either rerouted itself or the bridge is washed out. This is where you tell yourself, well, my feet are already wet, so I can just wade through it. I don't really need to risk jumping across stones or anything like that. This over here looks like it might be kind of a place to cross. But then you just end up in bogs. I think I'm gonna just not worry about falling off these stones and just go for it. Step on these wet stones and fall down, that's not a good thing. Oh man. Unbelievable. Again, the trail's completely gone. I don't see anything resembling a trail on this other side though. Maybe over here. Yep. This is as good as we're going to do. Okay, so here's our next junction. And this trail that we're on right here, it's just a little spur actually to connect us back over here. I think it was only like a mile long. Butte Lake Ranger Station via Cinder Cone. It's 5.7. I think that's what we want to do. And if you go Butte Lake via East Shore, it's 4.6, so it's an extra 1.1 miles to do Cinder Cone, and it's a pretty good climb. And if we have the energy, we definitely want to do that. This trail here goes to Horseshoe Lake, Juniper Lake. I got to remember that again, 5.7 via Cinder Cone. So I'm going to look at my watch here, 13.6, which is kind of about what I'm expecting. I am definitely going to do the Cinder Cone. Because a cinder cone, I guess from what I understand, is the cinder cone is a single outlet of lava, just one hole, and then it punches through, whereas presumably the volcano consists of many, many veins and arms and legs, like a root system kind of. Then it comes up in one area, whereas the cinder cone is just one. They tend to be smaller, and this one's very barren, so we could get up there and get a pretty nice view. We'll see. All right, dead ahead there you can see a very nice view of Snag Lake through the trees. There are nice colors in the grasses, greens and oranges. And over on that hillside there you can see the burned logs that have fallen over. All right, here's another junction I didn't actually expect to see right here. So let's go check this out and see what it's about. This trail to my left goes to Rainbow Lake and Lower Twin Lake and Summit Lake, whereas the trail we just want to stay on, we don't want to turn. We want to continue on to Cinder Cone, which is 3.8 miles. So that's where we're headed. All right, as you can see behind me over that away, the water has receded quite a bit. The trail goes along the lower part of that hill there. I just decided it'd be fun to come over here and walk along the the water for a bit. Looks like there's a little crossing we have to do here, but we'll get it done. All right, well, walking along the shore here was the absolute highlight of the trip so far. This is amazing. All the striations on the sand and the beautiful grasses over there. And the trail is over there at the edge, at the base of the hill there. So we can get back over there without any trouble. Well, I actually see my buddy over there. He's in the trees over there. You won't be able to see him, but he's over there. So maybe he stopped for lunch also. But anyway, look how calm the water is. It's been a little bit windy like 5 minutes ago. And then at that base there, see that darker area? That is what's called the fantastic lava bed. So we're going to be going in that direction. I think that might be from the Cinder Cone that we're going to check out. Well, I definitely didn't bring the sandwich so it could sit in my pack all day, so this is a good time to stop for lunch. It is 5 minutes to 1. So we're doing great. I think we've got, I don't know, less than 5 miles to go. I'm planning on doing the Cinder Cone. That's extra credit. It's another climb, but I think it's going to be next to this. It might be one of the highlights of the trip, so I think we got to do it. So let's have some lunch and get after it. All right, I think this is the end of my beach expedition. As you get down this way, it starts getting really rocky, and it looks like it gets kind of cliffed out there. So we're going to head back over into the trees there and catch the trail. All right, so I found my way back onto the trail, but after that cliff back there, looks like there's more really nice hiking along the shoreline there with the receded water. That little jetty out there, it's just beautiful with the striations, and the sky is just getting much better. We are right near the fantastic lava beds right here. That's what this is. And I've taken another beach excursion, as you can see. And God, what a pretty sight. This is really amazing. So what we've got to do now is, I'm going to flip the camera around. The trail is just above us. Actually, I can see it right through the woods there. So it's not much of a climb to get back up to the trail. But we have the opportunity to get real close to the lava beds here, which is kind of cool. All right, so here's the trail right here, and here's the fantastic lava bed, which is pretty cool. We're coming to a crest here, and we're going to be kind of done with it. If you look behind me, that's a crest right there, and it kind of levels out for a while. I don't know what happens, but we'll check that out. All right, this is part of the lava bed. It's really nice. All right, so this is the end of the, kind of the end of the fantastic lava field. Continues over there a little bit. You can see that reddish outcrop. But check out this gray stuff here. I don't know what the correct name for that is, but that's pretty cool. There's some more gray rock here. Right in the middle of the trail is this bright red lava. There's some more of the gray stuff up there. And you can see the trail if you look behind me. It's kind of just heading downhill. All right, well, I kind of thought I reached the end of the fantastic lava bed. That clearly was not the case, because it just keeps giving and giving. It still goes down there. All right, we're coming down the hill from that direction, and this is more of the fantastic lava bed. And then in front of me, it just opens up to this huge, like, cinder field, which is kind of a trip. I'm a little over 11 miles, so we got maybe 2.5 to go, including doing the cinder. Let's see what happens. We're supposed to come to a junction down here pretty soon. All right, folks, I want to show you this great view. We're coming down the cinder trail here, and then way off in the distance you can see another trail coming in. And then over to my right, that big roundish thing up there, that's the Cinder Cone. It's got 2 trees on the right shoulder, and that's what we're gonna climb up. I'm super tired, but I think I want to try to do it. All right, I'm gonna show you the trail junction here. This one here shows the trail to Snag Lake, Horseshoe Lake, Juniper Lake. And this one is just a reminder here. Please stay on the trail to avoid tracking cinder fields. They want to keep the cinder fields kind of smooth like they are out there. And then this one goes over to obviously Rainbow Lake, Lower Twin Lake, and Summit Lake. There's another junction that's going to go to the right and it's going to take us up to the Cinder Cone if all goes well. All right, we're approaching the Cinder Cone there. And you can see one really interesting thing is, this is so beautiful, the trees growing out of here and the big chunks of lava. But what's really fascinating, and you geologists out there could probably talk more about it, but look at the change in color from the reddish to the more gray, and a bunch of solid chunks in between there. And there's somebody's going up here. There's a sort of a use trail going up to that one. All right, as you can see, the trail kind of comes up on the shoulder of the Cinder Cone. There's a trail from whence we came. There's a summit up there. Now, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a bunch of vultures flying high up above there. Maybe they're waiting for me to come up there and die, but I don't intend to do that. So let's just see what happens. So I think you go around to the back side of this, and then there's a trail that goes up the cone. But this is the easiest way to access that. I'm really exhausted, and this is really hard, but I'm feeling like it's completely worth it. It's gorgeous up here. It's really a unique experience. So I'm going to keep plugging away and get this thing accomplished. I think I've worked my way up a good bit already. A long way to go. It doesn't look that bad, but it's a long way, I know it. Oh my God, look at these chunks of lava on the trail in front of me. Really amazing. This is fabulous. The sun's coming up, so we're getting some really nice light underneath the clouds. But if you don't like stark beauty, then this might not be for you, because that is really barren up there. But the trees that are growing up here are gorgeous. Okay, here we're just cresting out, and the Cinder Cone is over on my left. But now we're looking across the way, kind of toward where we were hiking earlier, between Butte Lake and Snag Lake. The other thing I mentioned is, you know, I've hiked up dunes where the sand is really soft and it's so difficult. This stuff is obviously soft cinder, but it's not that hard to walk on. I sure don't want to make this sound easy, but it's really not that bad. And if it's this way all the way up, I'll be very happy, but I'm not confident that's going to be the case. Look at that. That's amazing. All right, folks, so if you look over there, we've walked all the way around the back side of the cone. As you can see, the trail going up there, and I think it's going to gain that ridge where those trees are, and then we're going to go up that way, I think. You can see the trail behind me there. So it kind of goes up through that divide, then it drops down a little bit, and then it's going to start climbing back up again. So our next goal is to get up to that ridge there where the trees are, and then we'll probably have another view of what it looks like the rest of the way to the summit. Okay folks, this is the ridge with the trees that we're gaining right now, and in a second I'm going to flip around and show you the Cinder Cone above me. Okay, this is the top. Look at all that cinder down there, and the color is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my God. Okay, this section of the trail is extremely steep, so now we've got this rock gravel to get up, but I mean it's incredibly steep up there. Look at the colors down there, just amazing. Absolutely beautiful. All right, I'm working my way up this thing, and the grade is lessening a bit, so it's a little easier. Going back there, it was so incredibly steep, and then the trail kept disappearing in front of me. That looked like the top, but it was just the grade was changing to a slacker grade, so it appeared to disappear, but it keeps going. All right, at this point we have an incredible view of Butte Lake over there. In the foreground is the lava field. And then this colorful cinder field, which I have no idea what it is, but it is so incredibly beautiful. And then there's the trail coming up. And in the distance there is Snag Lake. So we can basically see our whole hike. If you look in the woods over there, that's the way we came along from Butte Lake. Having a bit of trouble coming to grips with just how beautiful this place is. It's really incredible. I can't believe it. Just how it's a arduous climb, but it was well worth it. What's interesting is there's kind of an outer rim and an inner rim. That's the outer rim there, and I'm kind of on the inner rim. And you can look down into the cone here, and then there is a trail that goes down to the bottom if you care to do that. And then there's some sort of rock structure at the bottom. And I'm not heading down there today because I'm so exhausted, but I am doing a hike around the rim. And the hike around the rim is quite gorgeous, as you can see. I came in over that way where that lighter, the trees and the bushes are, and then I've come around this part right here. And as you can see over there, there's an exit, and I'm wondering if you can get out that way and hike down that way. That's what I'm going to try to do, because I'm not sure if you're forced to go back the way you came in or not, but we'll just have to see. The sun has come out and we've got some great lighting going here. This is really gorgeous. Certainly one of the most beautiful places I have ever seen. Cinder Cone is gorgeous today. If we pan over this way, I believe that's Lassen right there in the middle. And you can also see that there does appear to be another way down. So this is the way that we're going to take, because it's more direct back to the Butte Lake area. Alright, so this is the way down on the, this would be the kind of north side of the cone. Yeah, this would be more the north side of the cone, I guess. And this is heading back toward Butte. And this looks like it might be a easier way to get up than I went up, but it's nice to do both ways because then you get to see everything. Hey everyone, I'd like to share some thoughts and tips and whatever that I learned today that might help you if you plan to make a visit here. Before I proceed, if you like the video, don't forget to give it the old thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. First of all, I would not discourage anyone from doing the long way around Butte Lake and all that. It was very pretty, but the latter half of the hike was far more exciting to me. Starting from the far end of Snag Lake through the fabulous lava bed and then culminating with this cinder cone was just completely outrageous. You can see the trail up there. There's a beautiful shot of the trail going up. It's very steep. This side is very pumicy, very cindery, very soft. But seeing the backside was awesome. So I would recommend doing a loop like I did. And I think if I was going to do this hike again, if I was going to recommend it to someone, what I would do is I would start from Butte Lake. I would hike out all the way to Snag Lake, check out the shores there, and then turn around, come back, and then go around the backside of the cinder cone like I did. And if you have the energy, you could climb down to the bottom. Like I definitely couldn't do that today. It's not necessary, but it would be fun to go down there. If you look behind me going up the trail, you can see a couple of guys. I just passed them. They told me there's a bear up the trail, so I'll just have to look out for that. I definitely recommend checking out the cinder cone. All right, folks, so the walk back seems pretty routine. It's kind of a wide boulevard of cinder, very soft. Sorry about the backlighting, but I'll get out over the side here. But I just wanted to kind of finish up here because I think the rest of it is kind of mundane. I'm at mile 14 now, and I'm sure I'm a mile away still down this path to the lake. It was a really fantastic day, so thanks for coming along. I definitely recommend checking out the Cinder Cone. So until next time, thanks for watching.